Well, the Cowboys were not able to get it done. I want to talk about, there were some nice things in this game. It was not just a complete disaster, but at the end of the day, their offense just was not able to be effective enough against a very good defense to win this one. So let's talk about what the 49ers defense did so well that meant that the Cowboys were just not able to get it done. All right, let's start off with this play. So what's going to happen here is this is the first interception Dak Prescott would throw. It's going to be it's a blitz right here, and that's worth noting as Prescott has a one-on-one matchup on the outside, but it's going to be a blitz. It's going to be a delayed blitz. That's the main thing to note here. Watch as when Prescott takes the snap, he looks initially over the middle, doesn't love what he sees there, so he decides to throw it towards the top of the screen. And what I'm assuming happened here was he's expecting his receiver to continue running further in. His receiver stops on the play, and now you just have a defensive back playing the ball and no receiver playing the ball. This is obviously never a good situation. So obviously the quarterback always gets blamed for this stuff, and maybe Prescott deserved blame. Maybe the play isn't to have the receiver move in, but it's one of those communication things that communication so important in football, so important in the passing game. Little mistakes can turn into huge swings in football games. As you see, this one was intercepted, turned into great field position, and honestly, they were lucky. It was only 3 points that amounted to. I mean, that could have easily been worse than that. So really, things you got to be on the same page for there. That was the first major mistake. Now, I thought Dallas had some creative plays. Dallas has consistently had some creative plays, this one being one of them where it's a zone coverage play. It might not seem that creative, it's just a play action, but worth noting, on a 3rd down and 2, a lot of times teams won't really do play actions. You kind of do these in different spots, but why not? 3rd and short, you'll see teams do this in the goal line a bit, not so much in the middle of the field, but it makes sense to do it, I think. And one other interesting thing to note is they're really selling this play action. They're going to actually leave the edge rusher on the top of the screen completely unblocked. I actually think this might be just a pure RPO. But anyways, watch how when Prescott takes the snap, you see at this spot, you have a receiver who's open. And the reason why it's open is because the linebackers completely moved in trying to stop the run. And this is the goal behind this play. Get guys out of position so you can throw over the top of them. Definitely a smart play call here on 3rd and 2. Again, not the craziest play call you'll ever see, but definitely something a bit unusual, which, hey, maybe that's the best idea. Not go super crazy, but do things that are a bit unusual. Watch as you see Prescott makes a throw on the run. They're able to pick up a decent chunk play. They got an explosive there as it was a 17-yard gain on that 3rd and 2. So being able to do that stuff is very good and can definitely help you, get the ball into the end zone as they would on this drive. You also have something like this where it's going to be a 4th down and 4. This was, I think, a good play, and something we talked about going into this was Prescott might have to use his legs to find a way for the Cowboys to win this one, and this is going to be a big running play that ultimately wouldn't matter, but it would matter in this, at first, it felt like it was really going to matter, where it's man coverage, and so, okay, that's the situation. If someone can win their one-on-one matchup, you're probably going to get this 1st down, as it's a 4th down and 4, only single safety deep, very important play. Prescott takes a snap, though, and from what we can see, there is a receiver who's off screen, but the 4 receivers we can see on the screen, worth noting, the circle all the way closest towards the top of the screen has 2 Cowboys in it. They were too close to each other. I couldn't circle them both individually. That's why there's only 3 circles, but yeah, the 4 Dallas players we see on the screen, none of them are open. None of them you can make the throw to. I don't know about the 5th guy, but the reality is this feels like it's a situation destined for disaster. However, there's always the X factor of when you're playing man coverage, you have 5 guys who are not looking at the quarterback. And so in this scenario, with a safety who's very far deep, you essentially have 6 guys on this play who just will not be able to affect a quarterback run. The only guys who could would be the 5 San Francisco players who are rushing the passer on this play. Yes, 5, it's a blitz. So, you typically think, hey, 5 guys, Prescott probably won't be able to get outside the pocket, so it doesn't matter. But if he can get outside the pocket, that's where things could become an issue. As you see, Prescott steps up, there was a running lane for him, and he's able to pick up a big 1st down. So again, 4th down and 4, being able to convert on something like that, that's definitely a plus for Dak Prescott and definitely something that you have to give him credit for. However, then this play would happen, and while I'll excuse him a bit on the first one, it's miscommunications. They do happen. You just hope they don't happen at those kind of times. This one, he definitely deserves blame for, in my opinion. But I was thinking, and this is kind of, I don't know this to be true, but we're just coming off a missed extra point. So we're in a situation where it's very possible that typically you're here, you're saying, hey, we got at least 3 points. But for Prescott, I almost wonder if it's almost similar to a 2-minute drill type situation when you need a touchdown, where you're going to start taking some chances on these plays a little bit more than you would because field goals are kind of off the table. Now, again, field goal isn't off the table. Who knows what happens in those situations? It's not like your kick, it's not like you feel like your kicker can't make a field goal, but maybe Prescott does feel like his kicker can't make a field goal. I could get it. But anyways, the play concept itself. So it's a zone coverage play. You have CeeDee Lamb trying to get into a gap in coverage. Okay, something that definitely could work on a 2nd down and 2. Get yourself the 1st down. Makes sense, sure. And, while you are getting sort of towards the end of the half, minute 24, when you're at the 17-yard line, realistically, you don't have to worry about the clock. Watch as Prescott takes the snap, and, on one hand, I can kind of see why he wants to make this throw. It's Fred Warner working on CeeDee Lamb, which, Fred Warner, maybe the best coverage linebacker in football, but he still is a linebacker, right? And against a great receiver, this is still a mismatch, even if it is Fred Warner. So, okay, you could make this throw. It's not wide open, but it's a throw you could make. The issue is going to be that guy. You have Jimmy Ward, who is really, I think, doing a great job of putting himself in position to jump this route. He sees what's happening, he's fully aware of what happens, and he's just going to get ready to jump in front of it. Watch as that's exactly what he does. He jumps in front of it, actually bats it up to Fred Warner, who gets the interception. I'll show the other angle. As you see, Ward was the one who jumped in front of it. He just didn't catch the ball, but he ended up knocking it right to Fred Warner, so you got the interception either way. But for Prescott, probably something you should have noticed. Like, you knew that there was going to be another player in that area, and you knew that there wasn't one of your own teammates taking him out of that area. So it's something you have to be aware of, and Prescott was not, which is a mistake, and those are the kind of mistakes you don't want to make, as that could have very well been a 10-point swing, as San Francisco took the time that was left on the clock to put 3 points on the board in their own way. Then in the second half, there really was a lot of, just not stuff getting open. Dallas was able to finally get on the board in the second half here, relatively early on in the 4th quarter, but still, it was kind of, Dallas looking a little bit off at times, and also good coverage, I think both being true, where this play, you see how the concept could work, couple of routes that could get into a gap in coverage. Realistically, one of them will probably be covered. You hit the other route. Look at how when Prescott takes the snap, you see it's CeeDee Lamb underneath, and for me, feels like CeeDee Lamb, I think he's just not expecting this ball for some reason. Kind of looks like he's coasting. He's not even looking at Prescott at this point. Very bizarre. Prescott tries to fire it in there, hoping Lamb could make the catch and maybe make a move or something. Lamb is not able to, and I don't know, if Lamb makes that grab and you're able to get it to even the 20-yard line, then maybe going for it is an option on the table. Instead, with a 4th down and 8, they feel like that's too far. They kick a field goal. Field goal was made, but still, again, little bit off, not quite getting the offense going the way you want it to. To be honest, I could probably make an entire video talking about that final drive and that final end sequence. I don't know, maybe I will, but, it did not go too well. Tough spot, though, at that point. They had some opportunities, just were not able to get it done, and that is why they will, once again, be losing to the 49ers. Tough loss to a good season by the Cowboys, but not quite good enough. That's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.